What's happening, y'all? Show man Flex back with another podcast episode of the Flex Files. Listen, y'all know how we get down on these podcast episodes, right? I love doing these podcasts with y'all, these podcast style episodes, because we get into different topics, a variety of different topics, not just dating, right? Um, like I said, we will do some topics like that, but also I do Q&As, right? Q&As, people who ask me questions and they want me to respond to questions that they have, or people send me DMs a lot about different topics that they kind of want me to tackle, right? And one topic is about growing on social media, right? I sometimes get questions about this coming from somebody that I've been doing social media for years, since like 2014. So over 10 years now on different platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram. Mainly Instagram was what I was doing since 2014, 2015, excuse me. But then I got into YouTube, then I got into TikTok, and so on and so forth, right? So we're going to get into my tips on how to grow on social media, whether you want to start a YouTube, you want to start a podcast, you want to start a TikTok, you want to start, posting more Instagram reels. You want to just grow on social media, even if you have a business, a brand that you want to start, you know, reaching people that are not just, your family and your friends from your hometown, right? Hey, we love our family and our friends, but let's just be for real. To grow, you have to be willing to step out there and be seen by the masses, right? People who you've never met in your life, right? That's how you build a tribe of people. So, but before we get into it, shout out to all the new subscribers. Thank y'all so much for joining the channel. We are continuing to grow day in and day out. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a vessel to help you grow. And I'm growing myself as well. You are helping me grow as well through the consistency, right? And this process has been a process, but I'm loving every minute of it, right? So don't forget to click that subscribe button below so that way when I post new content. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. How to grow on social media, right? I would say the first thing that I would do that's helped me is find out what your niche is, right? Find out what that is. What are you passionate about, right? What are you passionate about that you want to share to the world, right? Whether it be through you teaching it, whether it be you coaching it, right? Or even creating it, right? And that's a part of figuring out what your niche is, because you ask yourselves the question, are you a teacher? Are you a coach? Are you a leader? Are you a lifestyle content creator, motivator? Do you love to create art? Are you an artist? You know what I mean? Whether it be poetry, singing, dancing, acting. So now you're talking about skits, right? And those are very popular. Those have always been very popular. Another thing that's very popular is, just people who give commentary, think piece content creators. I call those think piece commentary creators or think piece content creators, whatever you want to call them, right? I guess, like, depending on what platform, I feel like I'm kind of in that think piece category. I used to do skits, I used to do a lot of lip syncs and skits. For a lot of people who may not know, most people kind of know me for my safety call video skits that I do if people are in a dangerous situation, right? In an Uber or in a Lyft or taxi, walking down the street at night by themselves, like women walking down the street at night by themselves. I've even had men and young boys want me to, play their big brother on these safety car videos while they're in an Uber or whatever it may be, right? Or like a father to a young boy or a young girl. So like, that's kind of what I've been doing a lot lately. So that's kind of like skit form type stuff, right? Are you a coach? Do you have knowledge to build to make money, passive income, right? Financial knowledge, right? Health knowledge, nutrition, fitness, whatever it may be. Do you have you can coach in those aspects, in those arenas, right? Do you have knowledge and understanding of that? People are always looking for coaches, right? Spiritual coaches, people are looking for that, right? There are different niches out there. That's the one thing about TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, but definitely TikTok. If you want to focus on TikTok, the one thing, excuse me, about TikTok is that there's so many different niches to kind of like get into, and it's like a whole different world. It's like its own Hollywood or TV channel. TikTok is to me. YouTube is similar as well, obviously. It's just longer formed content, but it's kind of similar to me, like how TikTok is. I feel like TikTok is just shorter form content, even though you can post up to 10-minute videos on TikTok now. But YouTube, you can still post 30-minute videos, 60-minute videos, 2-hour videos. Like, YouTube, I still feel like is king in that way. That's where streamers come in now, or people who do podcasts or YouTubes, like how I'm doing. I feel like YouTube been around long, so it's always gonna be king, right? But yeah, that's the first thing, right? So again, finding out what your niche is. What are you passionate about? What are you good at? Are you a teacher, coach, creator, artist? Sorry about that, y'all. I was trying to get some audio stuff situated. Look, I'm still fairly new to this, so y'all bear with me. You know what I'm saying? Grade me on a learning curve, okay? As I do this more, I'm going to get better, because I'm kind of a perfectionist too. So sometimes I just feel like I want to just stop and just like cut it out or whatever like that and just start a new video over. But anyways, like I said, so are you a creator, a creative, an artist, right? Whether that be through singing, dancing, acting, skits, whatever it may be, right? Do you do think piece content? Like are you a think piece creator where you're talking about trending topics that everybody's talking about, responding to trending topics, giving your thoughts and commentary on the trending topics, right? From your perspective. That's a very popular thing. The only thing about that niche is it can get messy sometimes because you're giving your opinion. So you have to be very opinionated, but you have to be very strong in your opinions. And everybody ain't gonna like your opinions. And you may stir a pot, start drama, whatever it may be. That's a very popular thing. Like I said, I do think pieces, but I don't really do that kind of think piece. I do more lifestyle think pieces and kind of psychological think pieces, signs that somebody's signs that somebody don't really ain't got feelings for you, signs that you're an attractive person, signs that, things that people do when they are obsessed with you. I do stuff like that and I give my opinions on that type of things. So, are you a spiritual coach? Right? That's another one. The second thing being, what do you want your demographic to be, right? And this goes hand in hand with the first one, right? Because what is your niche? What is your audience, your target audience? So finding out what your demographic is, age group, do you want men or women followers? What is your age group? So what is your age group? And these things set the tone for what you should be posting and your goals. What kind of content creator you want to become? What do you want to be known for? how do you want to help people? So those are the biggest, I say, first two things that you should do. Okay. The third thing is to look up people that inspire you and that make similar content that you want to make and that you want to create. It doesn't mean that you need to copy them. You know, when you're looking up people for inspiration and content, it don't mean that you got to copy them, right? But you can always get inspiration from them. The blueprint, maybe, right? And you know, you don't copy them because eventually, if it is similar, you add your own originality, authenticity to it. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. There are many artists, singers, musicians, athletes, speakers that follow and get inspired and had a person that they saw themselves in and they wanted to become, and they look up to that person, right? That's where you need that inspiration, because you need something to see that, you know, like as a vision, right, of where you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the inspiration right there, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, but ultimately, like I said, you want to make it your own, of course, right? The fourth thing being, once you've done all of these things and you figured out your niche, you want to post, okay? And this is where not only do you want to post, but you want to be consistent with your posting, right? A lot of people, this is where a lot of people, trying to use the right words to say this. This is where a lot of people fall off. This is where a lot of people, they lose hope. They get discouraged because this is not a shortcut. You know, even on TikTok, the algorithm has changed over the past 4 or 5 years from when I first got on in 2020. The algorithm for TikTok used to be so much easier to go viral. It used to be so easy to go viral on TikTok. Now it's a lot harder because it's more saturated. The algorithm has changed, and, you know, there's different buyouts that they claim is going to happen. So different, you know, not going to go into China not wanting to give us their algorithm, but that changes a lot of things. So, and a lot of creators that have been doing TikToks are really seeing how much harder it is to go viral, right? But you can't even think about wanting to go viral. That's exciting. That feeling of affirmation is very exciting, but that shouldn't be the main goal. That instant gratification is you're not gonna stay disciplined to want to make posts. You're gonna get discouraged because you don't see yourself growing, or you reach a plateau. I know all about that, y'all. I've been doing social media for a long time, and I've had my share of times where I've fallen victim and prisoner of instant gratification and the virality and the viral moment and the attention. And that's what you don't want to get sucked into that, right? It's a lifestyle, and you should fall in love with the process of it. It's about consistent, long asserted efforts. Consistent, long asserted efforts is what it's about. Okay. That accumulate big results. I'm gonna say that again. Long asserted efforts that accumulate big results. Okay. Excuse me. Because on YouTube, that's definitely how it is, right? You have to continue to post. It's about consistency. It's about a discipline. The persistence of posting. People have to keep seeing you, right? you're basically, you have to continue to show up for people. That's what you're doing. You are showing up for people to help them, to motivate them, to inspire them, to make them laugh, to make them think, you know, to encourage them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing, to sell them something, to help them, to heal them. Right? That should be your goal. That's what's going to make you continue to have that discipline of, like I said, long asserted efforts that will accumulate into big results or big rewards. Right? And in the long run, you'll see those big rewards. You're laying down the groundwork, the block each time. Okay. And because of that, now you're going to start reaping the results and the benefits. You reap what you sow in a good way, obviously, right? So, you're going to see the reward for your consistency. That's what it's about. A lot of people, this is where they get tripped up at. Whether it's Instagram, Instagram and YouTube are very hard apps to grow on, right? Extremely hard to grow on. TikTok is now also hard to grow on as well. You have to keep trying and keep posting things, trying different things, post no matter what, even if this is the fifth thing, right? So number 4 was, once you figured out the first 3, your niche, target audience, number 2, and you look up people that are doing what you want to do. 4, post consistently. 5, understand that it's not about the viral moment, like I said before. But if when you do go viral, you have to understand this. You're going to get, because viral means, I guess viral, I would say, is like 100,000 views or 200,000 views, maybe even 500,000 views, like, right? Super viral, mega viral is like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. But if you go viral, you have to understand that you're going to get you're going to get love and support. People, like maybe community, fans, community, whatever. But you're also going to get negative people, haters, trollers, people that talk about you, talk about how you look, talk about your content is whack, it's weak, it's corny, it's cringe, whatever. You're going to get that. When you go viral, that's a large scope of people from across the globe. They see your content. You're not going to just get a bunch of good, positive comments. They might be majority of them, sure, to be honest. But you're going to see some negative ones. The algorithm does a weird thing where it pushes. See, when you go viral, here's the thing. Like I said, you're going to get hit with both negative and positive feedback and comments, right? Majority positive, like I said. Love, support, encouragement. The other is going to be negativity, trolls. The algorithm does this thing where it pushes and it stays with a group of people and keeps sending it to the same group of people that maybe have the same interest and like it. And then it'll also push it to, it'll do a little period where it'll send to people who don't like it. And you got to weather that storm, man. And it's really not even a storm, y'all. Like, everybody not going to like your stuff. And it's okay. You have to get to the point where you develop thick skin. That's kind of the 5th part to this too. If you go viral, you have to have thick skin. If you're going to do social media, you have to have thick skin. If you're going to build a brand, you have to have thick skin. A business. Inventing something. Being innovative. Creating something. Original. Nobody's done it. You have to have very thick skin. It's its own artistry. Social media is its own artistry, form of acting. It's being a speaker, an influencer. Like, it's its own type of thing. And you got to be okay with the things, the negative comments that you get. That's just what's going to come with it. But these people don't know you. You don't know them. So it's really not that big of a deal. Right? Don't get stuck on that. So, I think that was actually number 6. If you go viral, understand that positive love-filled comments will be there, but also negative-filled comments will be there. So, that's what comes with it, right? But the biggest thing is it's about consistency. Remember what I said. Long asserted efforts breed and accumulate big rewards. That's what it's about at the end of the day, right? And you will see those benefits. You will continue to grow once you found your calling, your niche, your purpose. And then you'll be able to teach somebody what I'm teaching you. So, little different video for the podcast episode, but like I said, somebody asked me to talk about it, and I've always wanted to give tips on social media about how to grow on social media. So, and YouTube is perfect because you can post a long form video. I figured this is going to be a video longer than like just 10, 12 minutes, but I'm cool with that. I like that because I wanted to break it down for y'all in that way. So, to help you understand what it takes, right? What it takes to really be a content creator, a social media influencer, whatever you want to call it, right? It's about consistency, and it's about understanding that, hey, you are helping and building a lot of people and helping a lot of people. So you build a tribe of people that have been through the same things you've been through. Maybe you want to talk about grief. You've been through grief in your life, and you can't heal unless you try to heal and talk to other people. And you start to learn that it's a whole tribe of people out there that have been through what you've been through, and you are helping them while at the same time they're helping you. So now you build a tribe of people. I don't like the term fans. I don't really care about the term fans like that. I mean, I understand it, but I also like tribe and I like community because we all in this together. We all, have to build each other up, one person at a time. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of in this life now where, people looking for love, people looking for development, building, relationships, real, raw love and authentic relationships. Right. And that's what I think this is all about. And it's to help and serve people. To serve people. That's what it's about for real. Like I said, hey, listen, I love doing these type of topics. I hope this video and this podcast episode helped. Make sure to click that thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to do that and share and comment. Give me your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your social media endeavors are, what your journey has been like. If I may do a part 2 to this, you know what I'm saying? Let me know if y'all want me to keep doing like topics on how to grow on social media and stuff like that. Just let me know. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below so that way you know when I post new content on this channel. And hey, all love to y'all. Much love. It's your man Flex. And you just saw another episode of the Flex Files podcast. Y'all be blessed. I'm out. Peace.